parties in turning our thoughts towards Ronan Kerr and his grieving family. We offer our profound sympathies to his family, his friends and the PSNI on the loss of a beloved son, brother, friend and colleague. Here in this House we all share that sense of loss. Ronan Kerr was a young and publicly spirited man, and last Saturday the evil actions of a few deprived the people of this island of a fine Irishman, a committed public servant, a policeman who sought to devote himself to the protection and well-being of his community. His murderers robbed Ronan of his life. They robbed Ronan's mother of her son and the happiness that had come with seeing her child grow to maturity and fulfilment. They robbed Ronan's brothers and sister of the love and companionship of their big brother. But they also robbed every one of us on this island of the potential which Ronan's life held and all that his life might have been. We have stood together in this House today and made clear our absolute condemnation of this crime and of those who committed it. The unity of the message, which has come from all sides of this chamber, is unsurprising, reflecting as it does the genuine shock, sorrow and disbelief of those we represent that such an atrocity should occur. We stand together with people from all sides of the community in Northern Ireland and with their elected representatives. Once again, they have shown their strength of purpose and their determination to preserve and protect the peace which has been achieved on our island. Once again, this House has shown its determination to work tirelessly to ensure that this island, which we all share, will have an ever hopeful future and that we will not be dragged back to the violence of the past. Last Sunday I spoke with First Minister Peter Robinson, with Deputy First Minister Martin McGuinness, and I know that the shared sense of purpose, North and South, is deeply valued. I spoke also to Secretary of State Patterson on Saturday. As co-guarantors of the Good Friday Agreement, the Irish and British governments will continue to work together to support the Executive and ensure that the potential of the agreement for a shared and better future is realised fully. This tiny minority, without conscience or mandate, will not be allowed to deflect or deter the work of a generation of Irish men and women. Ronan Kerr chose to build a career in a transformed police service, increasingly representative of the whole community and supported across the political spectrum. It is this very openness, this positive change, that Ronan's murderers fear, and so they seek to deny change by callous acts of violence and intimidation. But they will not succeed because the ordinary men and women of this island will not allow it. We will not be bullied back down the blind alleys of the past. We, the people of Ireland, North and South, set our course for change when we adopted the Good Friday Agreement. We opted for peace, for reconciliation, and for a shared future within agreed political structures. We took our decision democratically, through the ballot box, that most definitive, effective, and enduring of all political weapons. I join with Ronan's brave mother, Nuala, in her call for us all to stand up and be counted. We will stand up together, whether Northerner, Southerner, Nationalist, Republican, Unionist, Loyalist, Catholic, Protestant, or none of the above. We will stand up together for peace, for ourselves and for our children, for justice for Ronan Kerr's family, and in support of the men and women in the PSNI and the Garda Síochána. I join with all of those who have called on anyone with information about Ronan's mother to contact their local police force. I echo the Kerr family's message to Catholic and nationalist members of the PSNI not to be deterred by this attack. On behalf of the government, I encourage men and women from all sides of the community in Northern Ireland, but particularly those from the nationalist and Republican tradition, to continue to apply to join the PSNI. Their own police force, an Irish police force, in ever-increasing numbers. I encourage their families and their communities to support them and to be rightly proud of any son or daughter who wishes to play their part in the help and protection of their fellow citizens. Those who murdered Ronan Kerr will undoubtedly attempt to style themselves as Republicans fighting for Ireland. It is difficult to express the anger and sadness which such a claim evokes in any genuine Irishman. To commit violent acts in direct contravention of the democratically expressed will of the people of all 32 counties of this island is perverse. To claim to be opposing British rule by seeking to undermine the constitutional and political settlement freely chosen by the people of Ireland and the people of Ireland alone is absurd. To assert that the goal is a united Ireland when every action aims to divide is illogical. What is the Ireland, then, that these people seek to build? I have no answer, and neither do they. For they can only destroy and maim and frighten, and have not the stomach or the skills for the real work of nation building. Those of us who truly aspire to unite all the people of this island, in all the diversity of their identities and traditions, know the path. It is one of peaceful means, compromise and political persuasion. It is neither glamorous nor quick, but it is true patriotism. True republicanism does not seek glory or expedience, but looks to the national interest and the good of the citizen. Ronan Kerr epitomised many of the ideals of our republic. We will not allow those who murdered him to besmirch the name of Ireland or her citizens by wrapping a green flag around their shameful act. I have seen firsthand the deep well of goodwill and support for the peace process which exists beyond these islands and particularly in the United States of America. Secretary of State Clinton and the Friends of Ireland Congressional Group have condemned the murder of Ronan Kerr in the strongest terms and made clear their unstinting support for Northern Ireland's political leadership and the peace process. I want to draw the attention of the House to the words of Congressman Richie Neal, who I believe perfectly captures the feelings of Irish people at home and abroad. And I quote, "Those responsible for this murder are cowards. If these criminals think they are going to turn back the clock and stop the change that is happening across Northern Ireland, they are mistaken. They have no support on the island of Ireland, and they have no support in the United States of America. Quite simply, they are on the wrong side of history, and they must be brought to justice. The overwhelming majority of the people in Northern Ireland support the democratic institutions and want peace and reconciliation. The United States supports their hopes and aspirations. During this sad and difficult hour, we will continue to stand with them as they work together to transform their society and to build a shared future." This evening, all of us in this House have expressed that willingness to stand together. I note the comments of Deputy Martin, who says that we want to send a very clear message, and I thank him for his support of the government in any measures which are needed to combat those who are responsible. Deputy Martin and others have proposed earlier today that perhaps there should be an all-party agreed motion, a Cathaoirligh, and I understand that arrangements are being made, I think, to formally table that tomorrow. I know that a draft has been in circulation during the course of the debate, and I think that is something that we can agree formally this morning, which will express, in I hope a unanimous way, the strong views of this House condemning the murder of Ronan Kerr, expressing our sympathies with his family, friends and colleagues, and indeed calling for those who are responsible to be brought to justice. I listened to Deputy Adams' contribution, and who also unequivocally condemned the murder, and I heard the comments that he made, and indeed recalling the offer which his party had made to meet with some of the groups who clearly reject the Good Friday Agreement in an effort, and I think that is something that is very helpful and is something that should be supported.